Today, we're starting a new series on the iconic soccer anime, Inazuma 11, a must-watch for fans of superpower sports anime. The show kicks off with a football shot like a rocket, wreaking havoc and knocking out the goalkeeper before landing in the net. The net's quality is truly impressive. This is the soccer team of Teikoku Academy, achieving a relentless 13-0 victory. The losers' school buildings are mercilessly demolished as part of Teikoku Academy's sinister plan to eradicate all educational underachievers. Our protagonist, Endou Mamoru, is the captain and goalkeeper of Raimon Junior High's soccer team. However, the team is down to just 7 members without a proper field, and only Mamoru is passionate about training. Rumor has it that the soccer club is on the verge of being disbanded due to insufficient members. With no one to practice with, Mamoru has to train at a riverside field with elementary school kids. During a practice session, 2 delinquents cause trouble and kick the ball at a little girl. At that critical moment, a white-haired scion appears out of nowhere, kicks the ball back, and helps Mamoru out of the situation. Mamoru, impressed by his skills, immediately wants to recruit him, but the aloof scion leaves without a word. Back home, Mamoru wishes in front of his grandfather's portrait that he could meet the scion again. In the photo, his grandfather wears a similar headband, which seems to carry a distinctive scent even through the screen. Surprisingly, the next day, his grandfather's spirit seems to answer his prayers as the scion turns out to be Mamoru's new classmate, Gouenji Shuuya. After class, Mamoru introduces himself to Shuuya and invites him to join the soccer club, but Shuuya declines, stating he no longer plays soccer. The principal calls Mamoru to his office not to discuss disbanding the team as expected, but to inform him of an upcoming match against Teikoku Academy. A girl named Natsumi, daughter of Raimon Soichiro, who is a major backer of Raimon Junior High, tells Mamoru that if they don't gather enough players before the game, or if they lose, the soccer club will be disbanded. With the principal under Natsumi's command, Mamoru has no choice but to urgently recruit more players, although the current team members lack confidence in winning, let alone attracting new players. After a day of effort, a few people consider joining. On his way home, Mamoru encounters Shuuya again. Hearing about the match against Teikoku Academy changes Shuuya's expression, and he tells Mamoru to stop seeking him out before walking away. Seeing no hope in persuading him, Mamoru starts his special training, hitting himself with tires to withstand the killer shots from Teikoku Academy in the upcoming match. Ichiruta, who Mamoru invited to join the soccer club that morning, arrives and questions Mamoru's strange training method. Mamoru shows him a notebook filled with alien-like scripts, a martial arts secret book left by his grandfather, who was once the soccer coach of Raimon Junior High. Determined to master the techniques in the book to fight against Teikoku Academy, Mamoru's spirit and courage inspire Ichiruta, who agrees to join the club. Not just Ichiruta, but other club members who secretly watched Mamoru's training are moved by his efforts and decide to face Teikoku Academy with him. On the day of the match, 2 new recruits join the team: Max, who has never played soccer before, and Yamino, a long-haired boy. However, they still only have 10 players. Teikoku Academy arrives in their extravagant style with bulldozers and security guards walking on soccer balls, showing off their dominant skills under the guise of warming up on Raimon's new field. Teikoku's captain, Kadu, launches a powerful aerial shot directly at Mamoru. Using all his strength, Mamoru barely catches the ball, which spins continuously in his hands, generating so much friction that it scorches his gloves. Seeing Mamoru struggle, the rest of the team panics, especially since they are still 1 player short. They reluctantly recruit a nerdy-looking student, who insists on wearing the number 10 jersey, a symbol of the team's core player. Natsumi and the principal are in the office, closely watching the game. The principal is worried that if they lose, the school may be demolished by the opponents. However, Natsumi is not concerned. She believes she can negotiate with them if they lose. More importantly, she wonders why Teikoku Academy would want to play against their much weaker team. The match is about to start, but Kabayama, who had gone to the bathroom, is missing. Everyone immediately starts searching for him. On Teikoku's side, their purpose for coming to the match is to test a rumored outstanding transfer student, but it appears he is not in the team. Kabayama is eventually found stuck in a locker, and Shirinji rescues him with a flying kick. The match is about to begin, and instead of deciding who kicks off with a coin toss, Kido arrogantly offers the kickoff to the other team. Kakuma from the chess club suddenly jumps in as a guest commentator, adding an unexpected live commentary, exciting the Raimon players as they've never had such treatment before. The game starts, and Ryugo takes the ball forward. Teikoku attempts a double slide tackle, intending to knock both Ryugo and the ball away, but Ryugo skillfully performs a rainbow flick to get past them. Raimon's passing is smooth, and after receiving a cross at the baseline, Ryugo takes a volley shot. However, the opposing goalkeeper is no pushover and blocks the shot, a real pity. When it's Teikoku's turn to attack, Kido slowly passes the ball to midfield, where unexpectedly, a powerful shot sends both Mamoru and the ball into the net. A stark end to a normal soccer play. Raimon clearly is no match for Teikoku, who not only plays the ball but also plays rough, quickly bringing the score to 10-0 by halftime. During the break, everyone except Mamoru wants to give up. In the second half, to force their rumored ace player to play, Teikoku starts playing seriously. Kido kicks the ball into the air, activating the death zone move. 3 Teikoku players leap, forming a magic circle in midair, and a purple beam of light with the ball targets Mamoru. This time, the player goes in, but the ball stays out. Hopefully, he's okay. It's Raimon's turn to kick off, but before they can, the opponent kicks up a tornado that sweeps away both the player and the ball. Teikoku continues to dominate, and by the end, only Mamoru is left standing. They line up to barrage him, trying to force Shuuya to save the day. The score reaches 19-0. Even Mamoru is struggling to stand. Seeing this, the glasses-wearing boy runs away, but deliberately leaves the jersey in front of Shuuya. Watching Mamoru still refusing to give up and shakily standing up, Shuuya finally decides to help and puts on the number 10 jersey. Kido is thrilled to see his key player appear, and the other 9 players, who were pretending to be out, get up. It turns out they were playing dead. The game continues. Teikoku uses the death zone again, but Shuuya rushes forward, believing Mamoru can block this shot. At this crucial moment, Mamoru, with a suddenly learned new skill, God Hand, catches the ball securely. He then throws it to Shuuya at the front, who transforms into a flaming tornado and launches a fiery shot. Fortunately, the goalkeeper dodges the potentially lethal attack. Thus, Raimon finally scores a point against Teikoku, who also get the information they wanted. Their ace shooter, Shuuya's skills, are still sharp. They voluntarily forfeit the match, perfectly resolving the issue of the soccer club's potential disbandment. After the match, Shuuya returns the jersey to Mamoru. He still refuses to stay in the soccer club, but no one is upset because that one goal signifies the official establishment of the Raimon Soccer Club, a groundbreaking moment. In the activity room, everyone discussed their weaknesses. Max believed that poor physical fitness was the biggest issue. The boy with glasses, who had run away during the match, returned to the team. Everyone looked down on him for fleeing, but he argued it was a tactical retreat. His departure allowed Shuuya to wear his jersey and enter the game, helping the team secure a crucial point. Ryugo criticized Shuuya's fiery shot as trickery, asserting that real men should play real soccer. Their argument was interrupted by Natsumi's arrival, who immediately scheduled a second match for them. After their match against Teikoku, Raimon had gained fame, and training invitations were flowing in. Their next opponent would be Gouenji Junior High, and the match was set for 1 week later. If Raimon loses, the soccer club will still be disbanded, but a win would secure Natsumi's approval for their participation in the national tournament. Gouenji Junior High was known for eerie rumors, and their challenge letter was quite provocative, yet Natsumi found them an interesting opponent. During training, Ryugo's attitude was poor. If his teammates tried to outmaneuver him, he would respond with a shoulder throw, taking the ball away aggressively. Ichiruta tried to criticize him, but was slapped away. Ryugo even kicked a ball against the goal post when facing an open goal, showing a unique talent. A young reporter who had watched the previous match became a fan of the Raimon 11 and now attended their training sessions. She shared rumors about Gouenji. All their past opponents fell ill 3 days after playing them, and if Gouenji was losing, the weather would suddenly change, and the match would be halted. The more the team heard, the more they felt it might be better to have Shuuya play. However, this touched a nerve for Ryugo, who insisted that he could score even without Shuuya. Mamoru believed that relying on others wouldn't lead to improvement. They should focus on training harder. Mamoru had given up on recruiting Shuuya. On the street, Mamoru accidentally followed Shuuya to a hospital, where he learned Shuuya was visiting his sister. Mamoru expressed concern, wondering if Shuuya was injured, but Shuuya shared his story to dissuade Mamoru. He had been a key player in a national tournament against Teikoku Academy, and it was on that day his sister had an accident while coming to watch him, leading to her coma. He felt guilty, believing his soccer career had indirectly caused his sister's condition. However, watching Raimon's match against Teikoku reignited his passion. Back in the activity room, the young reporter, Otonashi Haruna, became the soccer club's manager, offering to use her information-gathering skills to help the team. Ryugo was practicing his shooting skills intensely. His shots now emitted blue flames, yet the goal seemed enchanted as he couldn't score. During training, Mamoru pulled him aside to advise him not to rush and risk injury. Ryugo confessed his admiration for Shuuya's shooting and his desire to master a similar shot. Mamoru advised him to develop his style instead of trying to emulate Shuuya. Inspired, Sumeoka reignited his fighting spirit. Shuuya quietly watched the training from a distance when Natsumi, in her luxury car, approached him. She believed it would be a waste if he gave up soccer because of his sister's situation, especially since she loved watching him play. Ryugo finally mastered his special move, releasing a shot that transformed into a blue dragon roaring towards Mamoru, who was so stunned he forgot to block it. The ball flew straight into the net. The team was amazed by this spectacular move, which Ryugo named Fierce Dragon Shot. The good news didn't stop there. After much deliberation and Natsumi's persuasion, Shuuya announced he would join the team, doubling the joy. With Shuuya's addition, the next match held great promise. However, Ryugo, who had just perfected his special move, felt overshadowed and was visibly annoyed by Shuuya's charismatic yet arrogant demeanor. Ryugo was visibly upset, but two girls timely intervened to break up the argument. The young reporter brought a video of Okarudo's games, boasting about her extensive information network. The footage showed Okarudo's opponents standing motionless, allowing them to break through easily due to a supposed curse placed on them. On the day of the match, Kakuma continued as the mobile commentator. Okarudo's team dressed like ghosts, with their coach being the most normal among them. He claimed he was there for Shuuya, as otherwise no one would want to play against a team like Raimon. Okarudo's key players were Captain Hiroyuki, number 11 Barato, and number 10 Tsukimura. Right from the start, Tsukimura easily dodged the defense and launched a killer move, the Magic Mirage Kick, which Mamoru countered with his Golden God hand to spectacularly block the shot. Raimon quickly counterattacked. Shuuya was heavily guarded, while Ryugo was completely ignored, leaving him wide open. He seized the ball and unleashed his special move, Azure Dragon Roar, sending the ball slicing through the air and into the goal before the goalkeeper could react. After scoring, the team's confidence soared. Max intercepted the ball and passed it forward to Sumeoka, who again used Azure Dragon Roar to easily score, leaving Okarudo doubting their life choices, as they hadn't seen this move before. Unexpectedly, Okarudo's coach began to use magic, causing hallucinations among the Raimon players, who started to see their teammates as opponents. Hiroyuki used a ghost binding spell to immobilize everyone, even Mamoru, allowing Hiroyuki to score freely. Raimon restarted the game, and Shuuya sensed something was off but couldn't pinpoint it. Ryugo, frustrated by Shuuya's hesitance and likening it to whining, took the ball and attempted to repeat his move. However, he underestimated the opposing goalkeeper's ability to warp space, creating a mini black hole that caught the ball. Okarudo quickly counterattacked, and the ghost binding spell was used again, leading to another goal for Okarudo. Suddenly the game turned, and by halftime, Okarudo was leading 3-2. It seemed the coach's change in demeanor had fully activated the players' abilities. With a 12-against-11 situation, Raimon was at a disadvantage. As the second half started, Shuuya refrained from shooting, concerned about the goalkeeper's abilities, and instead passed the ball back to his teammates. This led the opposition to focus more on guarding Ryugo, causing Raimon to make mistakes in their passes. Seeing Shuuya still not shooting, Ryugo grew impatient, intercepted a pass from a teammate, but his shot was again blocked by the goalkeeper. Ryugo's frustration peaked, and Okarudo continued their assault with the ghost-binding spell. Mamoru, noticing the opposing coach's constant muttering, started chanting himself and managed to dispel the spell. He then used a new skill, Fist of Passion, to make a critical save. He explained to the team that the opposing coach had been hypnotizing them with psychological suggestions. During Raimon's counterattack, Shurinji hesitated to pass to Ryugo, but Mamoru encouraged him to trust in his teammates, emphasizing that every score was a result of the team's unity. This helped resolve Ryugo's personal issues, and he stopped trying to do everything alone. It was noted that Mamoru and Naruto were voiced by the same actor, fitting for the king of speech in the anime world. Shuuya reminded Ryugo not to focus on the goalkeeper's hands as part of the hypnotic trick. However, when Ryugo was cornered, he couldn't aim at the goal without looking. He decided to kick the ball skyward as a pass to Shuuya, who then executed a fiery dragon tornado. The Azure Dragon transformed into a fire dragon in mid-air, carrying the goalkeeper along with the ball into the net. Upon witnessing the combination move, Glasses-kun named it Dragon Tornado. Raimon used this move again to secure the score at 4-3 just before the game ended, winning the match. They could now participate in the tomorrow's Star Soccer Tournament. The draw for the preliminary rounds of the tomorrow's Star Soccer Tournament arrived, and Raimon Junior High's first opponent was Wild Junior High. Everyone in the club was thrilled about participating in the tournament. The guidance teacher came in and informed them that their first opponent would be Wild Junior High, who were the regional runner-ups. The coach hoped they wouldn't embarrass themselves by losing the first match. He also introduced a new player, Domon Asuka, who knew Aki from before and had once played against Wild Junior High. They were known for their strong physical fitness and excelled in aerial tactics, which made Kabayama joke about whether they played soccer flying. Despite Kabayama's fears, Mamoru was confident, suggesting they could create a new special move to compete. While everyone practiced hard, Asuka tried to flirt with Aki, who was not interested and focused solely on soccer. A passing worker shared the 40-year-old story of Raimon Junior High's Lightning soccer team, revealing that Mamoru's grandfather was their coach. The guidance teacher, watching from the side, seemed especially eager for Raimon to lose, harboring a secret. Back home, Mamoru asked his mother if his grandfather was part of the soccer team, but she remained silent. His father hinted that his grandfather had experienced some troubles because of soccer. While practicing the new special move, the team was clueless. During a meal, the conversation turned to the old Lightning soccer team, and the restaurant owner mentioned a secret manual left behind. Upon learning that Mamoru was the grandson of the team's coach, he warned that the manual could bring unexpected disasters. Curious, the team sneaked into the principal's office to steal the manual, quickly discovered by Natsumi, who didn't mind giving it to them. However, the manual was written in an incomprehensible alien script. Just when everyone felt disappointed, Mamoru revealed the script was his family's ancestral language, Mamoru language, which he could translate. It described a special technique called high-altitude thunder strike shot, believed to be effective against Wild Junior High. The team immediately began training it. During a run, Asuka stopped to rest, mumbling that having the manual was useless if they couldn't understand it. Unbeknownst to him, Kidu was lurking behind a telephone pole, raising suspicions of Asuka's integrity. Shuuya suggested that the high-altitude thunder strike shot involved one player jumping up, with another performing a second jump off the first, followed by an inverted hook shot. Mamoru believed only Shuuya could perform this feat, with Kabayama being the suitable springboard. Both started training, but neither was comfortable with it at first. Kabayama initially thought he couldn't jump high, but after a scare from a snail, he leapt 3 feet high, proving that sometimes pressure is necessary. On the other side, Shuuya finally mastered the high-altitude inverted hook. It seemed they might finally overcome Wild Junior High. Just when they thought the move was ready, a new problem arose. Kabayama developed a fear of heights, a unique issue where jumping triggered his acrophobia. Mamoru tried various methods to help him overcome it, but none were ideal. From a distance, Natsumi observed everyone, puzzled by their passion for soccer. Kabayama still struggled with his fear of heights, However, seeing Shuuya's relentless training on the way home, Mamoru arrived to join him. Kabiyama, inspired by their dedication, decided to keep trying. Back home, he took the top bunk to occupy his brother's bed, challenging himself to face his fears for soccer. Sleeping on the top bunk was a challenge for Kabiyama. His younger brother, excited about their victory over Teikoku Academy, insisted on watching his next game. The tomorrow's star tournament was approaching, and their opponent looked nothing like a human. As the game started, Shuuya tried to take the lead with his fiery tornado move, but Ryuta, the opponent's captain, quickly jumped in front of him and blocked it, demonstrating their skill in aerial tactics. The ball was then passed to Suizenji, who moved as fast as a leopard, easily breaking through and making a long pass. Then, a player who looked like a gorilla swung in on a vine. Mamoru, baffled about where the vine was attached, barely blocked the shot with his fist of passion. Shuuya, closely guarded, had no choice but to pass to Sumeoka. However, as Ryugo was about to execute his special move, he was knocked away by an opponent who resembled a human tank. Ryugo injured his ankle, forcing Asuka to play as a defender while Kabiyama moved to the forward position. Now, they urgently needed the high-altitude thunder strike shot to score. Asuka, with wheels attached under his shoes, used a slide tackle, a skill he learned from Teikoku Academy's defenders, to stop the opponents. Shuuya recognized the technique and kicked the ball high for a combo move with Kabiyama, but Kabiyama's fear of heights caused their coordination to fail. While Junior High was aggressive, and Kabiyama and Shuuya kept making mistakes. Kabiyama's younger brother and his friends, who had come to see him perform, saw him at his worst instead. Thanks to Mamoru's efforts, they managed a 0-0 draw at halftime. During the break, Kabiyama wanted to return to defense, but Mamoru insisted he stay forward, stating he would keep feeding him and Shuuya the ball. He joked that soccer doesn't need many players, just 2 forwards and a goalkeeper. In the second half, Mamoru continued to struggle, but the other players managed to hold their positions for a while. Shuuya urged a mentally shattered Kabiyama to look around and see everyone's efforts. Avoiding his duties would be a betrayal to those who trusted him. Mamoru blocked another shot with his golden god hand and passed it forward vigorously. Inspired by the scene, Kabiyama no longer wanted to let anyone down. He and Shuuya jumped together, with Ryuta behind them. Kabiyama had a sudden idea to use his belly to boost Shuuya up, helping with the jump, and allowing him to avoid looking down, which helped with his fear of heights. Their new move, high-altitude thunder strike shot, allowed Raimon to score the first point. As the final whistle blew, Raimon won the match. Shuuya complimented Kabiyama on his elastic belly, and Mamoru, who had been under immense pressure, had his palms injured, for which Natsumi brought him an ice pack. Seeing Mamoru's enthusiastic performance, Natsumi, somewhat tsundere, remarked she had never seen such a foolish person. Mamoru mistakenly thought she was insulting him. However, when they returned to the soccer club, they found that Natsumi had become the club's manager, subtly indicating that the club had unknowingly gained a wealthy backer. At Raimon, everyone was training when they suddenly realized they had gathered a crowd of spectators, recognizing they had fans. Meanwhile, Natsumi, an observer from afar, sensed a major problem and instructed her driver to rush down the hillside. She decided to ban the team from practicing their special moves because the onlookers were not fans but scouts from other schools. Raimon, now well known for its consecutive wins, found themselves in a dilemma, as practicing special moves was crucial for defeating other teams. Their next opponent, Senu High School, consisted of players transformed for soccer, who had already simulated their match against Raimon and were overly confident. However, Yuto reminded them that Raimon was not as predictable as other teams. The number of scouts trying to steal information had increased, which left the team disheartened since they couldn't practice their special moves. Mamoru argued that relying solely on special moves wasn't real soccer, which was ironic, considering he frequently used them himself. Suddenly, 2 trucks approached, revealing members of Senu High School, showcasing their advanced scouting equipment. Despite this, Raimon continued their training unfazed. Senu High School's captain, Sugimori Takesi, watched the practice unimpressed and entered the field with Shimazuru to challenge Mamoru, criticizing the lack of special move practice as ineffective since they had already gathered all the data on Raimon. According to their calculations, Raimon had a 200% chance of losing. Mamoru, not taking kindly to being belittled, challenged Shimozuru to a 1-versus-1 duel. Shimozuru launched into Shuuya's signature move, the fiery tornado, stunning everyone. Mamoru could not block it with his hot-blooded punch. As Shuuya took his turn, Sugimori defended perfectly with his dimensional pocket, blocking the real fiery tornado. The team was shocked. At night, Asuka secretly passed Raimon's training data to Yuto, while a junior reporter gathered information on Senu High School. Their goalkeeper, Sugimori, had never conceded a goal since he started, knowing all of Raimon's special moves. When the team was clueless about their next steps, Natsumi directed them to a secret meeting spot, but wasn't there upon their arrival. It was a legendary haunted location, rumored to trap anyone who entered. Inside, they found Natsumi, who had discovered a secret training area used by the Lightning soccer team, known for developing powerful moves. Natsumi claimed she wasn't there to help, but didn't want them to lose embarrassingly. The training equipment was brutal. Everyone struggled except Mamoru, who relentlessly pushed the team to practice. On match day, despite his previous loss in the duel, Mamoru reminded his team that soccer involved 11 players, and the outcome wasn't decided yet. The match began, and to everyone's surprise, Senu High School's players quickly bypassed Shuuya and Ryugo with a swift move. Senu's coach then signaled from off-field, and the team quickly formed a defensive line, blocking Ryugo's Azure Dragon roar. When it was Senu's turn to attack, Ichiruda's legacy-ending kick stole the ball, but it was quickly intercepted back by Senu. Mamoru instructed his team to focus on defending against player number 11, but another player, Yamagisi, broke through undefended. Fortunately, Mamoru made a crucial save. The ball was passed back to Shuuya, and despite precise calculations by Senu to counter his fire tornado with the dimensional pocket, the attack was stronger this time. Sugimori struggled to block it, and the ball was sent flying out. Following up, Ryugo and Shuuya combined for a dragon-form tornado, a more powerful move that Sugimori still tried to counter with the dimensional pocket, but with even more difficulty. Kabiyama then joined with a triple special move, the Thunderbolt High Shot, which finally overwhelmed Sugimori's defenses, forcing him to unveil a new technique, Rocket Punch, to save the goal. Confused by his inability to block a previously countered move, Sugimori no longer followed his coach's commands and switched to an offensive formation,